So I came across this article today and I thought it was super interesting. Researchers at Tufts University are developing a new dental implant that they're trying to get to reconnect to the body's nerve system. So, as dentists, we understand when we put titanium in, it doesn't truly behave like a tooth. Obviously, incredibly rigid, doesn't move, and it doesn't have any innervation. So there's no communication to the body about pressure or proprioception, position, all of that kind of stuff. So the researchers at Tufts University are trying to solve that problem by creating some way to create interconnectivity between the dental implant and the nerve tissue. It would be some type of biodegradable coating that they're playing around with that would then create some type of innovation response. As with any of these types of innovations, I'm sure this will be the first gen of many to try to move down this path, and each gen will get a little bit better. But I think it's really cool that they're trying to, as dentists, when we say it's the closest thing to a tooth that we have to offer, maybe we can actually be a little bit more sincere about that sentiment and say it is actually getting really close to a tooth, which is the best thing we have to offer. HPI coming out of the ADA, which has been the health statistics, they've been tracking this out of the Health Policy Institute for a really long time. I think really started around COVID, and they got so much great data out of it that they've sort of continued to collect information and surveying dentists on a weekly and monthly basis to to garner information on the ground about what's happening in a dental practice. So one of the recent stats that they put out really highlighted practice ownership, and they did find, I thought this was a really refreshing statistic. In my own mind, I sort of falsely assumed that a lot of the new grads or younger grads were not really pursuing practice ownership. But the data now would support that, in fact, it's just slightly delayed, where graduates that came out in the 90s and late 90s, early 2000s were pursuing ownership very early in their practice years. Somewhere between 5 and 10 years, they were usually practice owners at that point. Now we're seeing an uptick of that delay. So maybe they're waiting 10 to 20 years before they will finally open. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with student debt, the cost of dental school, being in the right environment, getting their skill sets up, and life. The younger generation actually has a very keen sense of work life balance. They're very focused on family and making sure that they find this right magical prescription between working and also being available to raise their family and to do what they need to do for others. So maybe that's what we're now seeing is this sort of level set of finding that sweet spot for practice ownership. But it's actually very refreshing for me to see that while it may be delayed, the general instinct of our young doctors is still that single shingle wanting to open and control their own destiny. And, I have to say, one of the best decisions I also made as well as a practicing dentist. All right, the last little piece of news for this evening is kind of sensational, which I don't tend to do very often. But I was reading this list and I was like, okay. That's super interesting. So here are some high level stats going on in the world of dentistry today. It's the top players of dentistry. The largest DSOs, I bet most of you could name it right off the top of your hat. But it is Heartland DSO at 1,700 practices. Aspen Group is at 1,300. And PDS actually is close to 1,000. Fastest growing companies, non-DSO related, are Grow 3X. They had 151% 2-year growth. Planet DDS, 185% growth. And Next Level Consultants with a 95% 2-year growth. Best dental insurance plans. Now, guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. As I was reading this, I did kind of chuckle a little. Okay, here we go. Denali Dental is the best overall. I've never actually heard of it. Delta Dental, best for braces. We're going to really niche in on that one. Spirit Dental is best for value. Emeritus, best for no waiting periods. And Guardian Direct, best for teeth whitening. That's what we look for in dental insurance plans. Okay, we're going to refocus. Sensationalizing the news. Richest people in dentistry today. Thomas Strawman, I think we all know him from a very famous implant. He's now worth $5.1 billion. Heike Kiostila, guessing is Japanese, from Planmeca. He is the president of Planmeca currently at $2.1 billion. Christopher Zeller, who inherited dental products company Ivoclar Vivadent, past CEO, $1.3 million. And Simone Mogg, who owns 3.5 of Strawman. Strawman apparently is the cash cow of dentistry at $1.1 billion. Now, the last stat we'll focus on, and I'm sure there'll be plenty to argue, top best dental schools in the U.S. UNC Chapel Hill is at the top, which going to have to brag about that one. University of California, San Francisco, and the University of Iowa College of Dentistry. Let me just look through this list really quick to see if I see any of the ones that the other DINK. Nope. None of the other DINKs attended a highly ranked dental school. So I think that explains a lot about our show. And with that, that's the news.